ਦੁਖ ਪੰਜਨ ਤੇਰਾ ਨਾਮ। ਸੇਵਾ ਸੁਰਤ ਨ ਜਾਣੀਆ, ਨਾ ਜਾਪੈ ਆਰਾਧ। ਸੇਵਾ ਸੁਰਤ ਨ ਜਾਣੀਆ, ਨਾ ਜਾਪੈ ਆਰਾਧ। ਓਟ ਤੇਰੀ ਜਗ ਜੀਵਨਾ, ਮੇਰੇ ਠਾਕੁਰ ਅਗਮ ਅਗਾਧ। ਆਠ ਪਹਿਰ ਆਰਾਧੀਐ, ਪੂਰਨ ਸਤ ਗੁਰ ਗਿਆਨ। ਦੁਖ ਪੰਜਨ ਤੇਰਾ ਨਾਮ ਜੀ, ਦੁਖ ਪੰਜਨ ਤੇਰਾ ਨਾਮ। ਦੁਖ ਪੰਜਨ ਤੇਰਾ ਨਾਮ ਜੀ, ਦੁਖ ਪੰਜਨ ਤੇਰਾ ਨਾਮ। ਦੁਖ ਪੰਜਨ ਤੇਰਾ ਨਾਮ। ਭਏ ਕਿਰਪਾਲ ਗੁਸਾਈਆ, ਨਠੇ ਸੋਗ ਸੰਤਾਪ। ਭਏ ਕਿਰਪਾਲ ਗੁਸਾਈਆ, ਨਠੇ ਸੋਗ ਸੰਤਾਪ। ਤਤੀ ਵਾਉ ਨ ਲਗਾਈ, ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਰਖੇ ਆਪ। ਤਾਤੀ ਵਾਉ ਨ ਲਗਈ, ਪਾਰ ਬ੍ਰਹਮ शरणाई। चौगिर्द हमारे राम कार, दुख लगै न पहाई। सतगुर पूरा भेटिया, जिन बनत बनाई। राम नाम अब खद दिया, राख लिए तिन रखण हार। सब ब्याद मिटाई। कहो नानक कृपा भई, प्रभ भय सहाई। तती वाव न लगाई, सतगुर सतगुर रखे आप। आठ पहर आराधिए, पूरन सतगुर ज्ञान। दुख पंजन तेरा नाम जी, दुख पंजन तेरा नाम। दुख पंजन तेरा नाम जी, ਸਭ ਕਿਛ ਪਾਇਆ, ਜਨ ਨਾਨਕ ਸਦ ਬਲਿਹਾਰ। ਜਨ ਨਾਨਕ ਸਦ ਬਲਿਹਾਰ, ਜਨ ਨਾਨਕ ਸਦ ਬਲਿਹਾਰ, ਸਦ ਬਲਿਹਾਰ। ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ, ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ। ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ, ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ। ਦੁਖ ਭੰਜਨ ਤੇਰਾ ਨਾਮ ਜੀ, ਦੁਖ ਭੰਜਨ ਤੇਰਾ ਨਾਮ, ਦੁਖ ਭੰਜਨ ਤੇਰਾ ਨਾਮ ਜੀ, ਦੁਖ ਭੰਜਨ ਤੇਰਾ ਨਾਮ, ਦੁਖ ਭੰਜਨ ਤੇਰਾ ਨਾਮ, ਦੁਖ ਭੰਜਨ ਤੇਰਾ ਨਾਮ। ਦੁਖ ਭੰਜਨ ਤੇਰਾ ਨਾਮ ਜੀ, ਦੁਖ ਭੰਜਨ ਤੇਰਾ ਨਾਮ। ਕੁਝ ਕੁ ਦਿਨ ਹੋ ਗਏ, ਇੱਕ ਨੌਜਵਾਨ ਮੈਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਬੈਠਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗਾ, ਪਹਿਲੇ ਉਹਨੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਚਰਨਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਮਸਕਾਰ ਕੀਤੀ, ਦੇਗ ਲਈ ਤੇ ਦਾਸ ਨੇ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਹਾਲ ਚਾਲ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਹੈ, ਠੀਕ ਹੋ? ਤੇ ਨੌਜਵਾਨ ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਹਫ਼ਤਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਮੈਂ ਸੁੱਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹਾਂ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਨੀਂਦ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ ਰਹੀ, ਮੈਂ ਡਿਪਰੈਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਾਂ। ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਉਹ ਕਾਹਦੇ ਲਈ? ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗਾ ਕਿ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਮੇਰੀ ਫਰੈਂਡ ਰਹਿੰਦੀ ਸੀ, ਉਹ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਛੱਡ ਕੇ ਚਲੀ ਗਈ ਤੇ ਇਸ ਲਈ ਮੈਂ ਹਫ਼ਤੇ ਤੋਂ ਸੁੱਤਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ। ਦੇਖੋ ਇਤਨੀ ਗੱਲ। ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਦਾਸ ਨੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਾਇਆ ਕਿ ਜੀਵਨ ਬੜਾ ਕੀਮਤੀ ਹੈ, ਅਮੋਲਕ ਜੀਵਨ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਕਿਸੇ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਜਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਲਈ ਜੀਵਨ ਆਪਣਾ। ਔਰ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੇ ਖਿਆਲ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਹਨ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਸੁਸਾਈਡ ਕਰ ਲਵਾਂ। ਫਿਰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਤੂੰ ਇਦਾਂ ਕਰਿਆ ਕਰ, ਤੇਰੇ ਜੀਵਨ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਜੋ ਵੀ, ਇਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਛੋਟੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਘਟਨਾ ਹੈ, ਕੋਈ ਵੱਡੀ ਘਟਨਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ। ਤੈਨੂੰ ਜੀਵਨ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਅਨੇਕਾਂ ਲੋਕ ਮਿਲਣਗੇ, ਕਈਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਤੂੰ ਵਿਚਰੇਂਗਾ। ਹੁਣ ਇਹ ਥੋੜੀ ਕਿ ਹਰ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਲਈ ਤੂੰ ਆਪਣੀ ਜਾਨ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਫਿਰੇਂਗਾ। ਤੇ ਦਾਸ ਨੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਇਹੀ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਸਮਾਂ ਮਿਲੇ, ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਤੂੰ ਚਾਹਵੇਂ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਦਾ ਆਨੰਦ ਮਾਣਾ ਜਾਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੇ ਚਰਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜਾਂ, ਤੇ ਤੂੰ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਚੌਂਕੜਾ ਮਾਰ ਕੇ ਉਸ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਦੇ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਰੂਪੀ ਨਾਮ ਨੂੰ ਜਪਿਆ ਕਰ ਔਰ ਆਪਣਾ ਧਿਆਨ ਉਸ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਵੱਲ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਜਾ। ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਮਾਈਂਡ ਤੋਂ ਇੱਧਰੋਂ ਬੋਡੀ ਚੋਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਧਿਆਨ ਹਟਾਵਾਂਗੇ, ਧਿਆਨ ਕਿਸੇ ਹੋਰ ਪਾਸੇ ਲਾਵਾਂਗੇ, ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਜਦੋਂ ਧਿਆਨ ਗੁਰੂ ਚਰਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਜੋੜਾਂਗੇ, ਆਟੋਮੈਟਿਕਲੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਮਨ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਾਂਤੀ ਹੋਣੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋਵੇਗੀ। ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਰਹਾਂਗੇ ਇੱਕੋ ਚੀਜ਼, ਉਸ ਪਾਸੋਂ ਧਿਆਨ ਹਟਾਉਣਾ ਪਏਗਾ, ਤਾਂ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਡਿਪਰੈਸ਼ਨ ਇਹ ਖਤਮ ਹੋਏਗਾ। ਤੇ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਜੁਗਤੀ ਇਹੀ ਹੈ ਇਸ ਦੀ ਕਿ ਆਪਣਾ ਧਿਆਨ ਹਟਾਉਣ ਦੀ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਧਿਆਨ ਨੂੰ ਗੁਰੂ ਚਰਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਜੋੜੋ, ਬਾਣੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੋੜੋ। ਤੇ ਦਾਸ ਨੇ ਇਸ ਨੂੰ ਇਹੀ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਆਪ ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਸਮਾਂ ਮਿਲੇ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਦੇ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜੋ। ਜਿਵੇਂ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਅੰਦਰ 10 ਦਿਨ ਗਾਵੀ ਹੈ, ਸੁਣੀ ਹੈ, ਮਨ ਰੱਖੀ ਹੈ, ਭਾਉ। ਜੁੜਨਾ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਹੈ? ਉਸ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਦੇ ਨਾਮ ਨੂੰ ਰਸਨਾ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗਾਉਣਾ ਹੈ, ਕੰਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸੁਣੀਆ ਹੈ, ਸੁਣਨਾ ਹੈ, ਮਨ ਰੱਖੀਆ ਭਾਉ। ਫਿਰ ਮਨ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਾਂਤ ਰੱਖਣਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਸ਼ਾਂਤ ਅਵਸਥਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਸ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਦੇ ਨਾਮ ਨੂੰ ਸੁਣਨਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੀ ਬਖਸ਼ਿਸ਼, ਗੁਰੂ ਦੀ ਮਿਹਰ ਹੋਵੇਗੀ। ਜੋ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੋਚ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ, ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਮਾਈਂਡ ਖਿੰਡਰਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਹੈ, ਗੁਰੂ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕਰਨਗੇ, ਮਿਹਰ ਰਹਿਮਤ ਕਰਨਗੇ। ਫਿਰ ਉਹ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਭੁੱਲਣਗੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੇ ਚਰਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੋੜ ਕੇ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੱਕ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਧੁਰੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜੇ ਹਾਂ, ਜਦੋਂ ਸਾਡਾ ਕੰਟੈਕਟ ਸਿੰਪਲ ਜਿਹਾ ਲੌਜਿਕ ਹੈ। ਜਿਵੇਂ ਇੱਕ ਟੈਲੀਵਿਜ਼ਨ ਹੈ, ਉਹਦੇ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਡਿਸਕ ਦੀ ਤਾਰ ਲਗਾਈ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ, ਜਾਂ ਵਾਈਫਾਈ ਦਾ ਕਨੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਲਗਾ ਲਓ, ਵਾਈਫਾਈ ਦੇ ਕਨੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਨੂੰ ਆਫ ਕਰ ਦਿਓ ਤੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਨਾ ਬੰਦ ਕਰ ਦੇਵੇਗਾ। ਇਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਾਡਾ ਕੇਂਦਰਿਤ ਧੁਰਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ, ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਡਾ ਕਨੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ। ਤੇ ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਦੂਰ ਜਾਣ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਤੇ ਖੁਆਰ ਹੋਵਾਂਗੇ, ਤੇ ਜੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜੇ ਰਹਾਂਗੇ ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਆਨੰਦ, ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਚੀਜ਼ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤ ਹੋਏਗੀ, ਮੁਹੱਈਆ ਹੋਏਗੀ। ਗੁਰੂ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕਰਨ ਇਤਨੀਆਂ ਸੇਵਾਵਾਂ ਪ੍ਰਵਾਨ ਕਰਿਓ। ਆਓ ਹੁਣ ਅਗਲਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਸਰਵਣ ਕਰੀ। ਇਤਨੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕਰਨ ਸਮੂਹ ਸੰਗਤ ਦੀਆਂ ਹਾਜ਼ਰੀਆਂ ਦਰ ਤੇ ਪ੍ਰਵਾਨ ਕਰਨ ਜੀਓ। ਅੰਤ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੁਲਾਓ, ਫਤਿਹ ਬਖਸ਼ੋ, ਅਸੀਸ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
Guru Pyari Sat Sangat Ji, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh Ji. Mental health is a really, really serious issue within the community. It often gets overlooked. Being in management at a Gurdwara Sahib, it's one of the biggest key issues that comes my way. A lot of the things that we end up dealing with arise from mental health issues. But why not? A Gurdwara Sahib is there for that, one would have thought. This is where people come when in life you are down, when you're facing issues in life. This week we lost a young Singh to suicide. Reading his post, who would have thought Deep Singh had suicidal thoughts in his mind? Very carefully, articulately set things out. Told people, if you're in my situation, here's a number to call. But sadly that night, that wasn't a number for him. He left the details, how to unlock his phone, so those he left behind could see his memories. It was a very chilling post to read. And it affected many people. Many people started questioning why. What could we have done? What could have our organizations done? How could we have stopped this death? Sangatji, I don't have the answer for that. I'd love to be able to give you the answer. Let's stop it there. When someone is suicidal, you're not going to see it. They don't write on their forehead, suicidal. In the last few years, a number of people I've known, young men, have committed suicide. There's a propensity of suicide amongst young Sikh men. And they don't talk about it. Why should they talk about it? They come to the Gurdwara. Who are they going to talk about it? Who are they going to talk about? Who's going to understand them? In a Gurukar, you will find every type of soul. You read it in your Japji Sahib each morning. Tuanu sant vi milange ਇੱਥੇ, tuanu shaitan vi milange, dono. Sare Guru kol aande ਹੈਗੇ. Shaitan vi aayega te sant vi aayega. So you're thinking, you know who the shaitans are in your life. Oh, we atege. You feel they will exploit me if they know my weakness. These people will exploit me. I can't talk to anyone. If you talk to the Sant, the shaitan will get to know too. These people will exploit me. They will take my weakness. Let's challenge those people. Those people who feel it's okay to play minor aggressions on the souls in our community. Those people who think that they can play with someone else's mental health and scare them away from somewhere. Those people who leave this Guru Ghar without having Guru's prashad. Shayad kada prashad kha ke gaye, but asli prashad nahi pachaniya te chakya bhi nahi. So let's challenge this. And I'm going to challenge this. I'm the Pradhan of this Gurdwara. I think I have to challenge this, and I think it should be challenged in every Gurdwara. Many years ago, before I was even married, I set out. I left, walked out of the house where my parents were, where friends and family were gathered. All I knew was that was the time, it was over. I had nothing else to go on for. While walking along the streets, thinking about how my end was going to be, I came across a little house. This was in India, by the way. Came across a little house. 2 doors open, tiny little place. It was a Gurdwara. At first I walked by, but then something dragged me back. I walked back, went in, thought, chalo, aakhri matha tekiye. Let's do that last matha tek. I went inside, did matha tek. The Baiji was doing sandhya with a lady, teaching her how to read her part. I was about to walk out. Baiji called me back. Prashad lo. Prashad chakya. Baiji said some words to me. I stand here today. Some will see that as a weakness. Gurpreet nu ki hoya? He's a guy who stands here, deals with any problem we throw at him. Anything that happens, we phone him, he solves our problems. But there was a time that I was down, but my Guruji dragged me out of it. Now, that strength, there are always going to be people in your life who will do things, say things. They don't matter. Mere dushman aithe bhi hege aaj. They don't matter. They've just heard me say it. Hanji, ek din main khud khushi da khayal aaya si mainu. Doesn't matter. What are they going to do? Because they're not involved between that relationship. Or shayad sochenge wo koi masti marange, masti maar ke unna nu ki milega, kede narak vich jaange. So, be strong. Have that strength for each other. Be there for all your friends and family. People aren't necessarily going to shout it out if they've got a problem, but sometimes your positive actions make a difference. As Agyani Ji has said, quite often people come and talk to him. It's the positive actions that Gyanis do, the positive actions you as a Sangat will do with those that you run into. Can we stop suicide? I don't know. Can we reduce it? I think so. We've got many great speakers with us today. I'd like to start off by calling Sikh Dad to the podium. Gurpreet Singh also. You can never have too many Guru De Premi. I would encourage you all to follow Sikh Dad on social media, seeing what he goes, what he talks, what he discusses. He really does grab parenting issues and many other issues. He grabs the bull by the horns and tackles them in a way that you as Sangat will appreciate and will learn from. But rather than hearing me talk about that, you can hear from Gurpreet Singh himself. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Fateh Ji.
गुरु प्यारी गुरु साध संगत जी प्यारी खालसा जी आओ आपा फतेह उच्चारण करिए वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह दास ने अंग्रेजी च विच बोलना पर नाल दी नाल कोशिश करूँगा थोड़ा जा पंजाबी विच भी बोलूँगा है ना So firstly before I go into what we're going to be talking about today just coming into this Guru Kar and matha taking, sitting down and listening to the shabd first was Dukh Panjan Tera Naam Ji. Dukh in our life is going to happen, Sukh and Dukh. When we listen to Gurbani, Akhand Path Sahib, from beginning to end, those words will come up time and time again. Sukh, Dukh, continuously from beginning to end. Dukh Panjan Tera Naam Ji. Guruji saying that Naam is the destroyer of Dukh. And the Gyani Ji was talking about an incident of depression. And then Baji on the stage was talking about his own personal experience. This in itself is something that we don't do. Main ta kadi bhi nahi suniya on Gurdwara stages, never. Hardly ever heard it before. So it's a vadai di gal, yeah. We should be congratulating ourselves about this, that we are so open now. Unfortunately, certain things have to happen in order for us to be okay to speak about it. But hopefully moving forward, that will change. So before I start talking about the topic of mental health, I have to give a little disclaimer, because I'm going to be giving my own opinion here as well. And it's important that my opinion doesn't interfere with anybody who is having any sort of therapy, counseling, or any intervention at the moment. It's important that you carry on with that. And it's important, if you're considering counseling or therapy, that upon my advice, you do not go ahead with it. So it's important that I mention that. Just giving a little bit of background, Baji mentioned what I talk about on social media. And I blog about being a parent. I show the life of my family and my children and how we try to raise them in Sikhi, and we try to take away all the misconceptions around raising our children in faith. And alongside that, I talk about mental health, and ultimately that's actually what changed my career. Because when I started parent blogging, Before I started parent blogging, my career was very different. I used to work in IT, I used to work in a bank. मैं बैंक ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦਾ ਸੀ ਪਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਇੰਟਰਨੈਟ ਤੇ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰਾਂ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹਾਲ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਈਆਂ ਨੇ ਪੋਸਟ ਕਰਨਾ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਚਿੰਤਾ ਦਾ ਬਿਮਾਰੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਐਂਗਜ਼ਾਇਟੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਇਸ ਦੇ ਕਾਰਨ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਦਵਾਈ ਮੈਂ ਖਾ ਰਿਹਾ they used to post the photos of antidepressants and I used to look at it and I was like wow I don't even know what this is I had no idea about it you know? Some people would talk about so many different things and I used to think to myself be mere kol bhi parvar hai kya yeah are people really going through this in their families right and that's what actually led me to find out more and more about mental health to cutting a long story short I changed my career and now I work in mind so for my day job I'm a manager of an employment team so what we do is ਕੰਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਲਾਇੰਟ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਕੰਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੋਈ ਤਕਲੀਫ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਮਦਦ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਡਿਪਰੈਸ਼ਨ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਐਂਗਜ਼ਾਇਟੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਜੋ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕੰਡੀਸ਼ਨਸ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਪਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਮਦਦ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਕੰਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਖੁਸ਼ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਦੀ ਖੁਸ਼ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣਾ ਹੈ what we do is spend most of our time at work so if we're not happy at work we're not going to be happy in life predominantly you know? So what we do is we help people day to day with any issues they have going on in work or to change their career or to return off sick so now I'm just going to begin with the presentation trying to see it up there so to begin with I'm going to be talking about the foundations of Sikhi because Sikhi is so important we're in Guru Sahib's Hazuri, so it's really important that we actually look at what we have. Nowadays, there's so many interventions. There's counseling, there's therapy, there's mindfulness, there's yoga. There's so many different forms of NLP as well, hypnotism, so many different treatments that you can have. And I've got respect for all of those treatments, but Sikhi is not just another intervention, yeah? Sikhi is not just a coping mechanism. I'm having a bad day, I need a little bit Sikhi. Sikhi is so much more than that. Yeah? Guru Sahib themselves, 550 years ago, however many years we want to look back, Guru Sahib themselves, there's so many shabds about chinta, there's so many shabds about dukh, so many shabds about all of these things. Guru Sahib has written everything there for us. But unfortunately what can happen is, as Baji mentioned from his story, and my own story as well, I suffered from low mood about nearly 10 years ago for a good few months, and it escalated very quickly to the point that it started to get out of control. So things can change very, very quickly in one's condition. So when things get to a really bad place, then it's really hard to have Sikhi as an ilaj, as a healing, because you've gone really far away. Yeah? You've gone so far away that it's really difficult to then accept what Guruji is saying, because we feel very guilty, we feel very low, we feel really bad. But Sikhi, as I said, is a foundation of ours. So if we can look at building that foundation, then I'm not saying that bad times are not going to come, but then we've got the Sahai, we've got the support of Guruji, we've got the Asara, everything that we place our hopes in Guruji and everything. Because if we think about it, when we've got a headache, for instance, if I've got a headache, I'm immediately thinking, Menu goli khani paidiya, I need to have a tablet, paracetamol, whatever it is, quickly, as quickly as possible to take away that headache. I'm not looking at the back of the box to look at the ingredients of what is in that dwai. Because I've got faith, if I have that dwai, my headache's going to go away. In the same way, Gurbani, jehde shabd hai gaya, is an ilaj for us, it's a healing for us, it's a dwai. Guru is Ved. It says so many times that Guru is the ultimate. But unfortunately, what we do is then we doubt that shabd and we start doing kintu prantu on the shabd and we don't have faith in it. Therefore, it's not the same way. So, foundations of Sikhi is so important. I'm going to be going through some common signs of mental health. So, certain things that you see are ones to look out for. What do we need to look out for in ourselves and other people? I'm going to be talking about first aid, which is very important. First aid for physical body is so important. Same for mental health. So, starting with the foundations of Sikhi, I'm just going to look at the slide on my phone because it's easier. As we said, Gurbani, we need to show love, begin to show love for Jeri Naam Hegiya, Jeri Bani Hegiya, slowly asar peoga, yeah, from the beginning. So what I'm talking about here is right at the beginning, if somebody has some signs or yourself, you're not feeling quite right, yeah, these are the things that we need to build up slowly in order to allow us to help with whatever comes our way. So holi naal di naal koshish karna hai. Asi sare vakhre hege, we're all different. We're all at different stages of our spirituality, hai na? But jinna holi shuru karke and be consistent with it is most important. Have faith, as I said before. Vaheguru nu yaad karna, cheta karna hai in dukh and sukh. We say, there's a common saying, I know that we say, Dukh vele ardas hona chahida, yeah, always. Sukh vele shukrana, har vele simran honda hai, yeah. That's a saying that we say a lot. We shukr karna, onu yaad karna, dukh de vich onu yaad karna hai, yeah. Because dukh, Guru Sahib, there's no one better to deal with your dukh. Jina pa ardas kar deya, yeah. Ardas we do minimum 2 times a day, pa ardas kar deya. But ardas is sadi galbaat ho rahi hai Guru Sahib de naal. We're having a conversation with Guru Sahib because we talk a lot, isn't we? Say you need to talk to someone. Yes, we need to talk to someone, but Guru Sahib is also here in the form of ardas. Yeah, and in the Western world we use a lot of affirmations. Yeah, we say I'm going to affirm this positivity. Yeah, I am this, I am that, because I want to become that. We can talk to Guru Sahib in the same way. This is an affirmation when we're doing ardas to Guru Sahib. We're affirming. Yeah, we can ask Guru Sahib for whatever we want. Guru Sahib is antarjami, is an inner knower of everything. So even if you can't tell somebody what's going on with you, you can tell Guru Sahib in form of ardas. Yeah, as Yani ji was mentioning before, many people come and talk to him as well, which is really important. So, having full faith in Vaheguru, which again takes time to build up. Our identity is so important as well. But when we're feeling low, it can be very difficult. From my own experience, you look a certain way. Yeah, we've got very high standards in Sikhi. We only need to look at our history, how much sometimes it can be a pressure for us on our shoulders. Yeah, that we can look a certain way, but inside we're totally different and we can feel trapped. Yeah, but we need to look at our image as being positive. Yeah, we need to recognize who we are, where we come from, and what we stand for as Sikhs of the Guru. Yeah, have that pride in who we are. Don't look at it. None of us are perfect. Guru Sahib knows that. Only Guru Sahib and Vaheguru is perfect. We're going to make mistakes. That's okay. But where do we go when we make those mistakes? Guru Sahib's Sharan is really important that we look at our identity as a strength and not something where it weighs heavy on our shoulders. Yes, we have to be responsible, but not to the point that we're putting ourselves down. Virtues. Guru Sahib de kinne gun hai gaya, we know that. Yeah. Jido apa ek gun dharan kar diya, we become like Vaheguru. Yeah. Jinne Vaheguru de gun hai gaya, we want as many of them in our jivan as possible, in our life. Yeah, so talk about these virtues. Guru Sahib de kinne virtue hai, kehde gun hege a vi asi apni zindagi vich dhaarna chaਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ. What virtues do we want? What do we want people to say about us? Yeah? How is it we want other people to be by following certain virtues? And our history as well. Our history has a certain, sidak de parosa, and if you look at our history, there's so much faith and there's been so much sidak and spirit in our faith, in our dharam, going back. We're so lucky because, when we come to a divan, a lot of the time in a divan we talk about our history, yeah? That history where people never gave up, no matter what. And this is what we say to Guru Sahib. I sometimes say it in my das, I'm never going to give up, no matter what happens. No matter what my mind is saying, Jinnah marji manmat de passe lagya, that I'm still never giving up. Because I want to follow Gurmat. I don't want to give up. Yeah? Never give up. Yeah? It's not an option. That's so important because we need to be inspired by our history. Again, not put down by it. Because unfortunately, there are some people that put you down when they look at the history and they say, well, you're not matching up to that history. It's there to inspire us. It's there to encourage us. It's there to motivate us. So, this is how important the foundations of our Sikhi is. But if you start to develop signs of not feeling right inside, or you see it with someone else, these are the things to look out for. So, if you lose interest in the things that you usually enjoy, this is something to be slightly concerned about at the beginning. If you feel like, I don't feel the same anymore, this is something which is, you need to think about and reflect on why that is. Because these are signs that you're beginning to change. You avoid your friends and social gatherings. This is something when I was in a low place, I didn't want to be around anybody. I didn't want to see anybody. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to do nothing. I wanted to avoid everybody because of what was going on inside. So if you feel like that, this is again a point of concern. Because there's a reason you're avoiding people. And if you see it with other people, there's a reason they're doing that. So this is another sign which is really important. You lose motivation for school, work, and all other things. Again, this is something that I experienced as well. So if you feel like that, or you see other people like that, this is something which is a big thing, because this is our purpose. Yeah? When we go to work, what we do, this is contributing to society. So if we're just, if one point we're flourishing, and then all of a sudden we're just ticking the box, this is again something which is alarming, because we're losing motivation. We're losing jada swad hundaya that we had before, that taste that we had before for what our purpose was. We're losing that. Slowly it's going away, and you're not bothered anymore. You might not even go to work anymore or something. You might not want to get up in the morning. These are all signs that there's a decline happening. You feel tired, but you can't sleep at night. Again, something I experienced as well, which is very difficult, because then you wake up and you feel drained. You don't feel as hungry as you used to maybe, or you're eating more than you used to compensate for something. These are all signs that a decline is happening. Difficulties with concentrating and focus, because jehda man hai gaya, jehde sochan ch dub gaya, the mind is drowning in your thoughts. You're overthinking everything. You're swimming in your own negative thoughts, which is taking you to a low level, which means you can't concentrate on anything. You've got no focus, got no clarity. Ek kam khatam nahi hoya, dusra nu shuru kita hai. can't finish anything, you're starting something else, and you're just all over the place. So these are some things where if you're feeling like this, then you need to think about what it is, why you are feeling like that. Why are certain things making you feel a certain way? And if you're seeing these things in other people, you're seeing some of these signs in other people, you need to be on alert at the beginning of it. And these are just a few examples. There's more different examples, but it's a starting point to look at, because these warning signs, they can escalate very, very quickly. Or somebody could experience these for a long time. You just never know. So here, first aid, mental health first aid. So I'm a mental health first aider. So what does that mean? When somebody's having mental health problems, what we normally do is we say, well, I don't really know what to do. I'm not qualified in this, which I appreciate. But we can all become first aiders. When we look at the physical first aiders, what's the job? Think to yourself in your mind now, what's the job of a physical first aider? The job of a physical first aider is to be the one at the first point of call, which maybe stops the bleeding for somebody, gets the person in a comfortable position, reassures the person, and has a few basic checks before the professionals come along. Mental health first aider is exactly the same. We know the warning signs, we know what questions to ask, we know the basics, we know where to lead someone to the right way, to the professionals. So it's no different there, okay? So there's a few points here in this slide that are really, really important as a first aider. So our approach is important. Ask questions. Swal tusi pucho. Open questions to that individual. But be sensitive with them. They're going through a difficult time, even though they may not be telling you what's happening. You can sense it already from their energy that something's not right. But respect their privacy. Inanu any कहना जे तुसी मेरे नाल हुन गल नहीं करनी, कदी नहीं गल नहीं करनी. Don't give them ultimatums. Respect their privacy. Say to them, ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਤਿਆਰ ਹੈ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨ ਨੂੰ, ਉਦੋਂ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, no problem. When you're ready to speak to me, I'm here for you. That person will know in their heart that this person loves me. This person is here for me. This is really important, because what happens is, if you really force them, then you're not respecting their privacy as an individual, and you push them further away. Listen, this is so important. Aapa kehndi sunan di gal karde a. Listening is so important in Gurbani as well. Why has Guru Sahib given us 2 ears and 1 mouth as well? We talk about this all the time. Kyunki aapa sunna ya, jada aapa sunna ya, right? But keda sunna ya, ardas de vich aapa kehndi bhi dekh ke undit kita hai. ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਖਣਾ ਆ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਅਨਡਿਟ ਕਰਕੇ ਦੇਖਣਾ ਆ ਯਾ ਔਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੁਝ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੀਤਾ ਆ ਆਪਾਂ ਭੁੱਲਣਾ ਆ ਉਸ ਸਮੇਂ. Whatever somebody may have done in the past, whatever they may have said to you, whoever they may be, you need to forget about it at that moment. You need to park that judgment. We're always going to judge them. Judgment is always going to be happening in the mind. But at that moment, we need to park that judgment Onadi palai vaste, for their well-being. So listen to them. Have open body language like you care. Not that you're looking at your watch because you need to go, or you're looking at your phone, or whatever it is. Be there for them in that space. Body language is important. Don't get frustrated with them. Be patient with them. Dheeraj chahiਦਾ is ਸਮੇਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ. Give support and information. Don't blame them. This is very important at this time. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਦਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਕਸੂਰ ਆ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ. ਨਹੀਂ, ਇਦਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ spirit ਹੈ ਗਿਆ ਸਿਦਕ ਹੈ ਗਿਆ we're going to break their spirit even more. We're going to make them feel even lower. ਉਹਨੂੰ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਥੱਲੇ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ. This is not what we need to do, है ना? Don't blame them. Be realistic with them. ਜੇ ਉਹ ਸਵੇਰੇ ਉੱਠ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦੇ, yeah, set them these goals. ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉੱਠਣਾ ਹੈ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਬ੍ਰਸ਼ ਕਰਨਾ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੱਪੜੇ ਪਾਉਣੇ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆ ਕਰਨਾ, ਤੁਸੀਂ set small things, है ना, that they can achieve. Don't expect them to get better overnight. Because if you set them big goals, they're not going to be able to do them, and then they're going to get even lower than that. So be realistic. Because what you want consistency. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ routine ਚਾਹੀਦਾ. Yeah? ਆਪਾਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ routine ਹੈ ਗਿਆ. Routine is so important. In Sikhi, routine is so important in life. Yeah? At that time, they won't have a routine. So ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ routine ਆਪਾਂ build ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ. We need to build their routine. It's really important. Encourage them. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਥ ਦੇਣਾ ਹੈ. We want to support them to get help. Yeah? Doctor ਕੋਲੋਂ ਜਾਣਾ, therapy counselor ਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਜਾਣਾ ਹੈ. We need to encourage them. ਜਿੰਨਾ ਛੇਤੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਇਲਾਜ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਚੰਗਾ ਹੈ. As quickly as we can get a diagnosis for someone, the better it is. Because you've got more chance that they don't go down the road you don't want them to go to. Yeah, as I said, things escalate really quickly. Time is very, very crucial. We don't have time in this. So the quicker someone gets an intervention, the better. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਡਿਸਕਸ ਕਰੋ, ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰੋ, ਵਿਚਾਰ ਕਰੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਆਹ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਠੀਕ ਆ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ. ਜੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਹੋਰ ਰਸਤਾ ਲੱਭਦੇ ਆ. Give them options. It's really important. You don't say ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਜਾਣਾ, ਜੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੰਮ ਕੀਤਾ ਫਿਰ ਬਸ ਗੱਲ ਖਤਮ. ਨਹੀਂ, ਇੱਦਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ. Give them options. Say, why don't we try this? Yeah? ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੋ. If not, let's try something else. Never mind, it didn't work. Let's try something else. This is really important that you have that attitude with them, that positivity with them. And encourage the support, family and friends. Jida parvar da jira saath and friends is really important. Ona di palai vaste. So these are things which is a first aider needs to look at. Jira first aider da course, it 2 dina da course, yeah, it's a 2-day course. I'm just giving you this much from there. Inna ma thoda na share karda hai from there. That what is the key things that a first aider needs to do. So as Baji mentioned, है ना, ਆਪਾਂ suicide ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਆ. ਇਹ ਬੜੀ ਔਖੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨੇ ਆ. ਕਈਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸੁਣਨਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਇਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ. This is quite a very difficult topic to talk about. Some people, they don't want to hear about it. But what I say is, Hannah, I'd rather talk about it and it be difficult than the worst happen. This is something we need to think about. We'd rather have a bit of uncomfortableness about this topic than the worst happened and you can do nothing. Fir aapa rona hai afterwards. Fir kuch nahi karna hai. So it's really important we talk about it. With suicide prevention, it's really important. There's some do's and don'ts. Kehde cheeza aapa karniya te kehde cheeza aapa nahi karniya ona de naal. Kehde cheeza aapa ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿਣਾ, kehde cheeza aapa nahi ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿਣਾ. It's really important in this time that we know what to say and what not to say to somebody. So again, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਵਾਲ ਪੁੱਛਣਾ ਹੈ. Don't assume anything. Ask questions. Don't make assumptions. Ask questions. So ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿਣਾ, are you having suicidal thoughts? ਪੁੱਛੋ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ. I used to be scared about this. ਮੈਂ ਡਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ. I used to say, ਬਈ ਜੇ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਸੋਚਾਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ, ਫਿਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ. No. It's a myth. So again, going on this first aider course, so many myths about suicide go away and we look at the facts. ਜਿਹੜੀ ਅਸਲੀਅਤ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ, we need to look at ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਅਸਲੀਅਤ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਣਾ ਆ, are you having thoughts? ਫਿਰ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਅੱਗੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਪੁੱਛਣਾ ਆ, do you have a plan? ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਆ? This is really important, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ as Gurpreet Singh mentioned on the stage, the thing that we're talking about, the reason why we're here today, most of us would have seen Baji, what he shared on social media. For me, it didn't look like something that he just wrote, it looked like something he planned. And then, unfortunately, we look where he took his life. The reality is, he would have planned that. As hard as it is to hear that. So if we ask somebody, do they have a plan, then we have some idea of their, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਸੋਚ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ, ਉਹ ਕਿਸ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਆ, ਉਹ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਰਨਾ ਆ। ਫਿਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਣਾ, do they have the means to do it? ਵੀ ਜੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੁਝ ਕਰਨਾ ਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਹੈ ਗਿਆ? Do they have everything to do what they want to do? ਫਿਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਪੁੱਛਣਾ, have you set a time and location that you're going to do this? ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਵੀ ਕਿਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਆ ਤੇ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਆ? ਫਿਰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅਖੀਰ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਣਾ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ? Do you intend to do this? Meaning, ਅੱਗੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਵੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੋਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ, ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਕੀ ਹੋਗਾ? Have you thought about it? Have you planned it? Have you made arrangements for you not to be here afterwards? Because if somebody's done that, then they're very, very close. If there's a yes to any one of these 5 things that I've mentioned, this is a very serious situation. So what you need to do is, you need to phone 999. You cannot leave them alone. It's very, very important that you also know the crisis information for your local area. Mainu pata jithe main rehnda ya, that there's a crisis place, anybody can go 7 days a week, 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock at night, without an appointment. You can turn up there and someone will see you. In all areas, they have similar setups to that. So this is so important that you know what to do and when to do it. Like I said, phone 999, take them to A&E. Don't think that this is just for physical illnesses. These places are equipped to deal with mental illnesses. But ਇੱਦਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੋਚਣਾ ਵੀ ਜੇ ਮੈਂ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਐਂਬੂਲੈਂਸ ਨੂੰ ਸੱਦਿਆ, ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਉੱਥੇ A&E ਜਾ ਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਚੱਲੇ ਆ ਵੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਦੀ ਮੁੜ ਕੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਣਾ. No, don't think that. Because ਉੱਥੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਇਲਾਜ ਹੋਣਾ ਆ, ਉੱਥੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਥ ਮਿਲੂਗਾ. They will potentially get a cure and some direction and some diagnosis from there, which will then help you afterwards. So we've spoken about what to do, and now what not to do. This is very important as well. Je us galla par haan hegi hai, as I said before, if it's a yes to those things, then ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਦਾ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨੀਆਂ, ਕਿੰਤੂ ਪਰੰਤੂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ, ਡਿਬੇਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਆਰਗਿਊ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੁੱਸੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣਾ. Kyunki, as I said before, they're feeling very, very low. They're feeling very, very guilty. Yeah? They don't want to feel like this. You're going to be pushing them further away. Dusri gale ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਵੀ get over it. Just get over it. ਵੀ ਆ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਉਂ ਵੱਖਰੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ? Don't say that to them. Don't say just get over it. ਉਹ ਬੰਦਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਵੀ ਬੰਦਾ ਬਣ ਜਾ, man up. Yeah? Don't say these things. Kyunki, as I said, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਹੋਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਥੱਲੇ ਸਿੱਟਦੇ ਆ. We're putting them even further down. Do not challenge them. Do not say, ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਰ ਲਓ. Don't say that. Don't challenge them. Don't say, well, if you're going to do it, go and do it anyway. Don't. Don't call their bluff. Never do that. Never challenge them. On this one, we're quite good at that in our community, you know. When someone tells us their dukh sukh, ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਕਹਾਣੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਦੇ ਆ. We're very good at that. Because ਆ ਵੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ, ਆ ਫਲਾਣੇ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ, yeah. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਫਿਰ ਪਤਾ ਆ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਇਸ ਬੰਦੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦਾ. I cannot talk to this person because ਇਹ ਮੇਰੀ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੁਣਦੇ. They're not listening to me. Yeah? So ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆਪਣੀ experience ਹੈਗੀ ਆ, ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਵੀ ਆਪਣਾ ਹੰਕਾਰ ਵੀ ਵਰਤਦੇ, put it to the side. It's not about us. ਉਸ ਸਮੇਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਆ. It's about them. Yeah? And ਇੱਕ ਹੀਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਵੀ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਵੀ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆ ਕੀਤਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨਰਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਣਾ. Don't say, even if you believe it, don't say it to them that you're going to go to hell if you do this. It's not going to change their mind. You're not going to, by scaring them, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਡਰਾ ਕੇ ਕੁਛ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਣਨਾ ਹੈ. Not going to scare them. ਕਿਉਂਕਿ, like I said, they're already feeling really low. They're already feeling very guilty. And if they're sick, they're going to be feeling like ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਪਾਪ ਕਰਤਾ ਹੈ. They're going to be feeling like a puppy. They're going to be feeling really, really bad, feeling really, really low. Yeah? So by saying that, you're not going to help them. It's going to make it even worse. And again, Hannah, these are just 5 things that I mentioned. There's so many other things not to say, but you get the idea from this. So this is important now, Hannah. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਆ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ. What can we do about this? So ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਪਾਜੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ, ਆਪਾਂ ਸੋਸ਼ਲ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਨਾਲ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਵੀ ਮੈਂਟਲ ਹੈਲਥ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਕਾਫੀ ਪੋਸਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਡਾ ਸਾਥ ਦੇਣਾ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਵੱਧ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਧ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਹ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੈਗਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕਰਨਾ ਆ. ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਨੇ ਨੇ ਪੜ੍ਹਨਾ ਆ. No idea who's going to read it. ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਵੀ ਕਿਹਦੇ ਲੋੜ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ. You don't know who needs to read this stuff. I get messages sometimes and they say, thank you for this, I needed this today. I didn't know that. I had no idea. It's really important that you support people in sharing this. Support ਜਿਹੜੇ professional ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇਸ field ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੰਮ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਆ. It's really, really important. Support them. They need support. ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ support ਚਾਹੀਦਾ. ਨਾਲ ਤੁਸੀਂ volunteer ਵੀ ਕਰੋ. Yeah? There's any place where you go, there's a mental health institute or anything relating to mental health, they're always looking for volunteers. Charities, volunteers are the backbone structure of charities. It's really, really important that you go there and you volunteer and you learn about this stuff. And as I said before, you can get training. There's so many different trainings on suicide. Just type it in Google. There's so many online ones that you could do. And as I said, there's a mental health first aider by the Mental Health Foundation, which is a 2-day course. And maybe if I speak to the Gurdwara, we can have a group of us here and we can all do it. It might be a good idea. Become a mental health first aider. Learn about these difficult things. Because you will know what to do and when to do it. It's the most important thing. Because stages hunde hai. Yeah? As Baji mentioned before, the stage that Deep Singh got to, there would have been so much that happened before. You can spot what happens, when it happens, and you know what to do. It's a really important thing. Set up local groups, peer support groups, parent groups, men's groups, women's groups, whatever it is. Jitte tusi galbaat kar rahe ha. Some people, they don't have anybody to talk to. Yeah? There was a survey done on why men don't talk to people. There was many things that they said. They feel embarrassed, they feel weak, they feel everything. But one of them was, I don't have anybody to talk to. By giving someone the space, they can come in there and they can talk about anything. It doesn't have to be related. They just want to feel normal. They don't want to feel like they're feeling inside. To set up this thing, this is really important. Self-help books. There's so many things online about self-help from the Western world, but I've got two things just to share with you now, just really quickly. There's this one book here, I'm going to just hold it up. It's Mental Health Ki Hunda Hai. So this book is by the charity Seek Forgiveness. You can also follow them on Instagram as well. Both jere cut resource hege Punjabi de vich. There's hardly any resources in Punjabi on mental health. This book goes through all the conditions in Punjabi and what to do, when to do it, similar to first aid. This is really important book in Punjabi. And this book here is by Share Charity. It's called Why Am I Here? So this question, if you ask this question to the majority of people, they will not have an answer for you. It's really important questions. This is a self-help book that goes through all of life's big questions. And it's a practical book, and it will ask you to do things along the way, and it will ask you to practice certain things. So these are just two books, because it's really important, like I said, that we support the projects that we are doing as well. And lastly, this is really important. My manager, who's not even a Sikh, she's a Gori, she said this to us when she done suicide training. She said, you can be as educated as you want in mental health, you can have lived experiences, but you can have compassion. So it's not necessarily be pare likhe nahi in mental health. We've never experienced mental health before, but we have compassion. And I thought to myself, wow, because obviously I don't need to talk to you about Daya. Hanu sareyan nu pata hai. What does Daya mean in Sikhi? Sareyan nu pata hai kya? So this is one thing we do have, so we need to use it. It's very important that we use Daya. The first thing that we use Daya with people. It's really, really important. So this is what we can do. We can use Daya. And finally, this is really important, that right now we just take a few seconds and we look at Guru Sahib. Apa thore je ek minute vaste je us to vi cut Guru Sahib de ਚਰਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਧਿਆਨ ਲਾਓ ਫਿਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਲਈ ਆ ਸੋਚੀਏ ਵੀ ਜਿਸ ਵਕਤ ਕਿਸੇ ਕੋਈ तकलीफ होगी, किसी को दुख होगा. If anybody is in any mental pain at the moment, in difficult times, they don't know where to turn, they don't know what to do, ਆਪਾਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਲਈ ਪਿਆਰ, ਭਲਾਈ ਤੇ ਇਲਾਜ ਤੇ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ. We send love, we send well-being, we send healing, and we send Chardhi Kala to all those people out there. Please forgive any mistakes I've made. Bhul chuk maaf. Waheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji ki Fateh.
प्यारी साध संगत जी, आओ फतेह दी सांझ पाइए. गज के फतेह बलाओ जी. वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह. First of all, I'd just like to thank Gurpreet Baji and this Gurdwara, Mandeep Moore, for organising this in such short notice. As we all are aware, this programme is being held because a young Sikh from our community took his life on Friday. And he was not the first, unfortunately. Very tragic that on September 11th, there was another young Singh his name Taran Singh Degan from Leeds also, a young Sikh also took his life. And we really need to start questioning, addressing this, asking the right questions as to why this is happening. And we know depression is a real problem, not just in the Punjabi community. This is a rife problem globally, no matter what culture or background you're from. But there's something that is not addressed so much, and that is men's mental health. And there's many cultural reasons for that. Typically, we expect men to be strong physically and mentally, and we forget that men also have emotions. They are also warmed by the same sun that warms you and I. They are also affected by the same winds that make you and I cold. So we put a lot of pressure on an expectation on men to be a particular way, to be a man. I think the first thing we need to look at, and just want to put a disclaimer here, I'm not a professional expert, but I think many of us can speak from personal experiences. I don't think there's any person in this room, if anyone's watching online, that hasn't experienced depression on some level, that hasn't felt extreme pain and dukh. We've all felt that. And Nanak dukhiya sab sansar, meaning that the whole world is suffering. So suffering, dukh and sukh goes hand in hand. The Guru Granth Sahib addresses this, that where there is sukh, dukh bhi hona hai. Pain and suffering is inevitable, it's a part of life. But in terms of male mental health, we need to really start asking questions as to why men don't feel that they can come forward and speak. There's lots of reasons for this. Gurpreet Baji of Sikh Dad has addressed some of these as well. But I think one of the biggest things is there's a famous saying in Punjabi and in Hindi, Duniya da sab to vadda rog ki kehnge log, meaning that the biggest ill of the world is what will people say. And women are more emotionally wired to open up and speak and be vulnerable, whereas men, they feel if they open up their emotions, they are considered to be weak. And quite the contrary, it takes immense strength and courage to be vulnerable. And I think lots of us have work to do, especially women. I think the expectation we have of our partner, of our fathers, grandfathers, of our spouse, to always hold it together, to always show some sort of machismo, that we don't give them that space to cry. How many of us, if we saw our male elders break down, would we be able to deal with that? And that is patriarchy, something called toxic masculinity. Phrases like, be a man, mard ko dard nahi hota. This is a famous saying in Hindi. Mard meaning man. Man doesn't feel pain. Of course they feel pain. So this language that we use, the phraseology is extremely damaging. It doesn't allow men to be vulnerable and open up. So I think as women as well, there's lots of work on women empowerment. It's not that much on male mental health. And that's why male suicide is the biggest killer in the UK. So we really need to ask those questions from within our home. It's so great that we're having this conversation on mental health in a place of worship. More places of worship need to open their doors. Gurdwara shouldn't just be a place where you come to listen to katha, kirtan, have some prasad, langar and go home. We should be able to come, have conversations with people who we can relate to in the same language as us as well. That's really important. And who we can be vulnerable to and share our experiences and not feel afraid to do that and not feel judged. And another thing is there's lots of talk on mental health. And again, I'm going to put a disclaimer, I'm not a professional, but this is just my opinion. There's lots of talk about people saying, if you're suffering, speak to someone, talk to someone. Sometimes that's not enough. And we've seen personally when a man goes to speak to somebody, their loved ones, and tell them, hey, something isn't right, I'm not okay. 9 times out of 10, the loved one rejects that person. They turn their back on them. So where does that person go now? And this is what leads to that descent into quick descent into depression, loneliness, and feeling, well, I've got nothing else to live for. How can we hold our men and make them feel like it's okay to be human? We come into this life with an array of emotions and feelings. There's no different emotions for a man than a woman. Biologically, yes, we're different, but in terms of emotions, we are the same. So I think we have to all be better at giving that space to them, holding them and saying it's okay to cry. Just to give a personal example, I remember when my Nani ji passed away, my Nana ji went upstairs to the bedroom to cry because he felt he couldn't cry in front of his family. He had this image to maintain that this comes from culture, it's no fault of his own, that he has to have it together. And that's just one example. I'm sure we all have own examples in our own family, but we've got to get better at that. Taran Singh Degan his family have set up a Just Giving page. They're trying to raise £15,000. He was from Leeds also. They're trying to raise money for some local mental health charities for men. So the link is on our Instagram page. So if you want to check that out, Gariwal Twins, please do donate wherever you can. The more work we do in, making sure we're all equipped with the right toolkit, having the right resources, I think the better we will get at managing it. And there's so many great initiatives like Tarakki, which is working to address mental health for men specifically in the Punjabi community. So we've got to get better at that, I think. Supporting these charities that exist. Just a few things I want to touch on before we do some collective simran together. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji in Slok Mahla Noma, he says, Sukh mein bo sangi paye, dukh mein sang na koe. Meaning, in times of happiness, people flock to us like, moths to a flame. Dukh mein sang na koe. Meaning, when we are feeling low, no one is there for you. So what do we do then when humans turn their back on us? Well, Guruji has the answer to that in the Guru Granth Sahib. Again, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji and all of the Gurus say, just to give you an example, Kahe re ban khojan jai, meaning, why do you go outside? Ban means forest. Why do you go outside to look for answers? Sarab nivasi, sada alepa, tohi sang samai. So Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji is saying, what you're looking for is here, is with you. You can't rely on a human being to help you. And the answers have been given to us. The Gurus have put together, the saints, the Bhagats they've done the work. And they've put it in a scripture for us. And fair enough, there's language barriers, but there's lots of work that people have done to translate the sacred scripture into English and other languages that are accessible for people who are not born in India. So the essence of the Guru Granth Sahib, if we understand the theme, because it's poetry and poetry has themes, the theme of the Guru Granth Sahib is the relationship with the mind. It's not a rule book, it's the relationship with the mind. In Anand Sahib, E man merya tu sada raho har nale. So this is Guru Amar Das Ji talking to the mind saying, oh my mind, tu sada raho har nale. If you attach yourself to the Guru, you will be okay. This is not to say problems won't happen, they will come. You will be able to deal with them a lot better. And again, if I may just share something personally, I've been there too, we've all been there. This is me being vulnerable now in a public space. I've also had my days with depression. We have all been there. But for me, what was that Sahara? For me personally, it was Kirtan. For me, it was the Bani. That's what saved me when I was drowning. And it is there to save all of us. If we understand what the Guru is saying, what is suicide something that Sikhi condones? Unfortunately, it does not. That's a harsh reality, but utopia, liberation, can only be experienced in this realm with this body. Guru Arjan Dev Ji says, Pai Parapat Manuk Dehuriya Gobind Milan ki ehe teri bariya. Meaning that this realm with this physical body, only in this arena can you achieve liberation. Sikhi does not believe in afterlife. This is our only chance to have that union with Paramatma. It doesn't come afterwards, it comes now. Human life is the most precious thing. So when we are drowning, as we all do in the sea of life, we have to learn first understand the relationship with our mind, and music helps that. Kirtan helps that. The whole Guru Granth Sahib is poetry to music, to rag. And then the second thing is accepting hukam. Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, Hukm hai andar sab ko, bahar hukam na koi, meaning everybody is part of this cosmic will of the universe. Nobody is exempt from it. Hukam rajai chalana, nanak likhya nal. Hukam is a key aspect of Sikh philosophy, Eastern Indic philosophy. When we learn that whatever is, the cosmic will of this universe, when we understand it and accept it, hukam is very hard to accept, but that comes from submission. It comes from dedicating yourself. Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, Jo to prem khilan ka chao, sir tar tali gali meri aao. So you have to, we're using the example of giving your head. That's the analogy, the metaphor for giving yourself to the Guru. And it's not easy to do, but we can start. There are many, many resources, like I said, that were not available to our elders, to our grandparents, which are available to us, translations in English. So let's use them, and let's try and make places of worship centers of learning, places where people can come and be vulnerable. So I would just like to end with some simran. I won't say any more. Like I said, I'm not a professional expert, but in my own personal experience, I have found that Kirtan has saved me, and simran. And whenever I'm having a dark day or a day where I'm feeling a bit down, I just start singing. It works for me, and it will work. It is the medicine. Gurbani is the medicine if we understand it. And it's not just for Sikhs. I would like to say the message of the Guru Granth Sahib is universal for everybody. And if you don't read Gurumukhi, there are translations available in English. So we really don't have any excuse. But that's the first place to start. Professional help, intervention is another great place. So without saying any more, I'd just like us to do some collective simran together. There's power in prayer, there's power in collective prayer. Lots of people had reached out and said that they were suffering, feeling heavy. So let's all come together. For those that are physically present here and those online as well, let's all come together and elevate our spirits, raise our vibrations together through doing some simran. We'll do it for about 10 minutes. And I would really encourage you to all join in. Please sing loudly as well, so that not just for you, but maybe for the person sitting next to you who really needs this. And if it's you that needs it, let's all do that. This is a great place to start. We have to be the change we want to see in the world. So let's all do that together. Close our eyes, keep your eyes open, whatever works for you. We've just dimmed the lights to help you zone in. If you are not physically here and you're at home or wherever you may be, just use this 10 minutes to tap into something that's greater than you and I. And I hope it gives you comfort and healing. Vahe Guru, 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 वाहेगुरु 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 वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह।
Guru Pyar Sat Sangat Ji, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. We're thankful to Gurpreet Singh of Sikh Dad and also to Harnoor Kaur of the Grewal twins for the Simran and presentations today on the issue of mental health and suicide. Difficult issues to deal with, but if we don't deal with them, we will continue to have tragedies within our community. We're honored to have Bhai Satninder Singh Bodal and his Jatha with us today, and they shall be doing Kirtan up until 8:45 p.m. Bhai Sahib is really a leader on Gurbani Sangeet and Rag Kirtan. Today, while doing his Kirtan, he's going to talk about also the importance of Rag, of Gurbani, and how it can strengthen our mental well-being. For all our strength, all our sahara is within Guruji. But sometimes we just need to figure out how to connect. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Fateh Ji.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ 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 ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ
ਚਰਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜ ਬੈਠੀ ਗੁਰਸਵਾਰੀ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀਓ, ਫਤਿਹ ਦਾ ਜਵਾਬ ਮਾਕੂਲ ਫਤਿਹ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਖਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰੋ ਜੀ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ,
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
ਗੁਰਮਤਿ ਮਰਿਆਦਾ ਨੂੰ ਮੁੱਖ ਰੱਖਦਿਆਂ ਰਾਗ ਸੋਰਠ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਿਰਧਾਰਿਤ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਰੇ ਮਨ ਰਾਮ ਸੁਨੋ ਕਰ ਪ੍ਰੀਤ, ਸ਼ਰਵਨ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਗੁਣ ਸੁਨੋ ਔਰ ਗਾਓ ਰਸਨਾ ਗੀਤ। ਆਓ ਫਤਿਹ ਦਾ ਜਵਾਬ ਮਾਕੂਲ ਫਤਿਹ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਖਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰੋ ਜੀ। ਕੀਰਤਨ ਦੀ ਇਜਾਜ਼ਤ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ,
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
ਤੇਰੇ ਕਵਨ ਕਵਨ ਗੁਣ ਕੈ ਕਹਾਂ, ਤੂੰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਗੁਣੀ ਨਿਦਾਨ, ਤੁਮਾਰੀ ਮਹਿਮਾ ਬਰਨ ਨਾ ਸਕੋ, ਤੂੰ ਠਾਕੁਰ ਉੱਚ ਭਗਵਾਨਾ, ਅਨੰਤ ਗੁਣ ਨਿਦਾਨ, ਅਨੰਦ ਗੁਣ ਨਿਦਾਨ, ਗੁਰੂ ਗਰੀਬ ਨਿਵਾਜ, ਗਰੀਬ ਨਵਾਜ, ਗਰੀਬ ਨਵਾਜ। ਸੋਰਠ ਮਹਲਾ ਨੌਵਾਂ। ਏਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ सतगुरु प्रसाद रे मन राम सो कर प्रीत रे मन राम सो कर प्रीत रे मन राम सो
कर प्रीत
हे मन राम सो कर प्रीत रे मन राम सो कर प्रीत प्रीत श्रवण गोविंद गोवन सुनो अर श्रवण गोविंद गोवन सुनो अर गाओ रसना गीत रे मन राम सो कर प्रीत रे मन राम सो कर प्रीत प्रीत श्रवण गोविंद गोवन सुनो वर श्रवण गोविंद गोवन सुनो अर गाओ रसना गीत रे मन राम सो कर प्रीत रे मन राम सो कर प्रीत कर साध संगत सिमर माधो कर साध संगत सिमर माधो हो है पतित पुनीत हो है पतित पुनीत काल ब्याल जो परयो डोले
काल
रसना गीत रे मन राम सो कर प्रीत रे मन राम सो कर प्रीत। आज काल फुन तोहे गरस है, आज काल आज काल फुन
तोहे गरस है,
समझ राखो जीता। हाँ, समझ राखो राखो जीत कह नानक राम भज ले, कह नानक
राम बदले,
कह नानक राम भज ले, जात हो सरबीत कह नानक
राम बदले,
जप मन सतनाम सदा सतनाम, हालत पलत मुख उज्जल होई है, नित ध्याय हर गोरख नर जना। कह नानक
राम बदले,
कह नानक राम भज ले, कह नानक राम भज ले। राम सिमर यह तेरे काज है, माया को संग त्याग, प्रभु जू की शरण लाग, जगत सुख मान मिथ्या झूठो सब साज है। कह नानक
राम बदले, कह नानक राम बदले, जात ओ सर्वेत बेत,
कह नानक
राम बदले,
बाबा नी सारे 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 नी नी रे सारे नी रे नी सा नी नी दा बा मा मा बा रे रे मा बा नी नी दा बा। कह नानक
राम बदले,
पौड़ी नाउत्रा निरंकार है न ले नरक न जाय, जियो बिड़ सब तिसदा देखा जे आख गवाय, जे लोड़े चंगा मना कर पुनो निसदाय, जे जरवाना पर हरे जरवेश करे दियाय, को रहे न भरिए पाए। कह
नानक राम बदले,
राम कह नानक राम भजन कह नानक राम भजन रे सा मा मा सा रे सा पा मा पा रे मा पा नी नी द पा रे मा ग रे सा रे नी सा रे मा पा नी सा रे नी द पा द मा पा रे मा पा नी सा रे नी सा के
नानक राम भजल
बसा नी सा पा सा नी द पा रे सा रे मो ने मा रे सा रे नी सा नी द द पा द मा पा रे मा ग रे सा रे नी सा के नानक
राम भजल
के नानक राम भजन के नानक
राम भजल
के नानक राम भजन के नानक
राम भजल राम भजल राम भजल कह नानक राम भजल
नानक राम नानक राम भजन के नानक
राम भजल
नानक राम भजन के
नानक राम भजल
नानक
राम भजल
नानक राम भजन नानक
राम भजल
नानक
राम भजल सनि सा पानि सनि ने द पद म ग रे ने सा नि सा रे म प रे म प नि सा 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 कह नानक राम भजल नानक
राम भजन जात अवसर बीत जात अवसर बीत जात अवसर बीत रे मन राम सो कर 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 बीत रे मन राम रे मन राम रे मन राम सो कर बीत वाहे रे मन राम सो कर प्रीत श्रवण गोविंद गुण सुनो अर गाओ रसना गीत। गुरु तेग बहादुर महाराज जी ਦਾ ਸੋਰਠ ਰਾਗ ਵਿੱਚ ਸ਼ਬਦ। ਅੱਜ ਦਾ ਕਨਸੈਪਟ ਮਾਨਸਿਕ ਦਿਮਾਗੀ ਹਾਲਾਤ ਮੈਂਟਲ ਲੈਵਲ ਦਾ ਅੱਜ ਸਾਰਾ ਟੌਪਿਕ ਰਿਹਾ। ਬੜੀ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਹੋਈ ਗੁਰੂ ਘਰਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਜਿਹੇ ਉਪਰਾਲੇ ਅਜਿਹੀ ਅਵੇਅਰਨੈਸ ਵਾਲੇ ਉਪਰਾਲੇ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਜਿੱਥੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਕੱਤਰ ਰੂਪ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੈਠਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੇ ਟੌਪਿਕ ਆਮ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ। ਗੁਰੂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਰਾਗਾਤਮਕ ਹੈ। ਰਾਗ ਦਾ ਸਰੀਰ ਉੱਤੇ ਦਿਮਾਗ ਉੱਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਗਹਿਰਾ ਅਸਰ ਹੈ। ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਰਾਗਾਤਮਕ ਹੈ। 31 ਨਿਰਧਾਰਤ ਰਾਗ, 31 ਮਿਸ਼ਰਿਤ ਰਾਗ। ਰਾਗਮਾਲਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਰਾਗਾਂ ਦਾ ਜ਼ਿਕਰ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਰਾਗ ਪਰਿਵਾਰਾਂ ਦਾ ਜ਼ਿਕਰ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਪੁੱਤਰ ਰਾਗ, ਇਸਤਰੀ ਰਾਗ, ਇਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਰਾਗਾਂ ਦਾ ਜ਼ਿਕਰ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਪੁਰਾਣੇ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਫੋਲੀਏ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਅਨੇਕਾਂ ਰਾਗਾਂ ਦਾ ਜ਼ਿਕਰ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਈਵਨ ਸਾਇੰਸ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਪ੍ਰੂਫ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮਿਊਜ਼ਿਕ ਹੈ, ਮਿਊਜ਼ਿਕ ਥੈਰੇਪੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਦਿਮਾਗੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮਸ ਹੈ, ਮੈਂਟਲੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮਸ, ਉਹਦਾ ਹੱਲ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ, ਉਹਦਾ ਇਲਾਜ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਕਈ ਰਾਗਾਂ ਦਾ ਅਜਿਹਾ ਅਸਰ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ। ਐਕਸਪੈਰੀਮੈਂਟ ਰਾਗ ਟੋਡੀ ਗਾਉਣ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੰਗਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਿਰਨ ਖਿੱਚੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ, ਕੋਈ ਹੋਰ ਰਾਗ ਗਾਓ ਉਹਦਾ ਇੰਨਾ ਅਸਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਣਦਾ। ਇਹ ਐਕਸਪੈਰੀਮੈਂਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ। ਰਾਗ ਭੈਰਵ ਹਿਰਦੇ ਤੇ ਗੰਭੀਰ ਅਸਰ ਪਾਉਂਦਾ, ਸਟ੍ਰੈਸ ਰਿਲੀਜ਼ ਕਰਦਾ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੰਟਰਨੈਟ ਤੇ ਸਰਚ ਮਾਰੋਗੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਭ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਏਗਾ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਰਾਗ ਇਹ ਜੋ ਸ਼ੋਧ ਕੀਤੇ ਗਏ ਨੇ, ਐਕਸਪੈਰੀਮੈਂਟ ਕੀਤੇ ਗਏ, ਰਿਸਰਚ ਕੀਤੀ ਗਈ ਉਹਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਰਾਗ ਦਾ ਦਿਲ ਦਿਮਾਗ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, ਹਿਊਮਨ ਬੀਇੰਗ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗਹਿਰਾ ਸੰਬੰਧ ਹੈ। ਚਲੇ ਜਾਈਏ ਕਾਫੀ ਸਾਲ ਪਿੱਛੇ, ਗੁਰੂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਬਾਣੀ ਸਾਰੀ ਰਾਗਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਚੀ, ਕਿਸੇ ਟਿਊਨ 'ਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਚ ਦਿੱਤੀ। ਰਾਗ ਕੋਈ ਆਪਾਂ ਫਿਲਮੀ ਗੀਤ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਉਹਦਾ 5 ਮਹੀਨੇ 6 ਮਹੀਨੇ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਹੀ ਉਹਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਬੰਦਾ ਫੈਨ ਹੋਵੇ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਦਾ 6-7 ਮਹੀਨੇ ਅਸਰ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ। ਲੇਕਿਨ ਰਾਗ ਹਰ ਵਾਰੀ ਸੁਣ ਲਓ ਉਨਾ ਹੀ ਨਵਾਂ। ਅੱਜ ਮੈਂ ਸੋਰਠ ਸੁਣਾਇਆ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਅਲੱਗ ਰਸ ਆਇਆ ਹੋਗਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਗੁਰਮਤਿ ਸੰਗੀਤ ਦੇ ਸ਼ਰੋਤੇ ਆ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਰਾਗ ਸੁਣਨਾ, ਰਾਗ ਦੀ ਸਮਝ ਰੱਖਣੀ, ਰਾਗ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੁਰਮਤਿ ਸੰਗੀਤ ਸੁਣਨਾ, ਇਹ ਵਿਰਲਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਹਿੱਸੇ ਹੈ, ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਹੀ ਵਧਾਉਣ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਹੈ। ਗੁਰੂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਰਾਗ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਾਣੀ ਰਚੀ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਰਾਗ ਆਤਮਾ ਨੂੰ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਨੂੰ ਮੇਲਣ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਸਾਧਨ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਕੁਝ ਐਜ਼ ਏ ਮਿਊਜ਼ਿਕ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸਰ, ਐਜ਼ ਏ ਅਸਿਸਟੈਂਟ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸਰ ਇਨ ਕਾਲਜ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਕਾਲਜ ਆਫ ਦਸੂਆ, ਕੁਝ ਮੈਂਟਲ ਲੈਵਲ ਤੇ ਜੋ ਦਿਮਾਗ ਤੇ ਇਫੈਕਟ ਪਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਰਿਆਜ਼, ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਮੈਂ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ 1-1.5 ਮਿੰਟ ਜ਼ਿਕਰ ਕਰਕੇ ਅਗਲਾ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਗਾਇਨ ਕਰਾਂਗਾ। ਆਮ ਯੋਗ ਸਾਧਨਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖਣੇ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਤਾਨਪੁਰਾ ਲੱਗਾ ਤੇ ਯੋਗ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ, ਮਿਊਜ਼ਿਕ ਥੈਰੇਪੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਹਮਿੰਗ ਕਰਕੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਕੁਝ ਦੇਰ ਸਾਟ ਗਾ ਕੇ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਮਨ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਾਂਤੀ ਮਿਲਦੀ ਹੈ, ਦਿਮਾਗ ਇਕਾਗਰ ਚਿੱਤ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਵੀ ਮਿਊਜ਼ਿਕ ਥੈਰੇਪੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਪਾ ਦਾ ਰਿਆਜ਼ ਕਰਨਾ, ਸਾਹ ਦਾ ਰਿਆਜ਼ ਕਰਨਾ, ਇਹ ਵੀ ਮਿਊਜ਼ਿਕ ਥੈਰੇਪੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਸਾਡੀ ਸਟ੍ਰੈਸ ਨੂੰ ਰਿਲੀਜ਼ ਕਰਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੀਆਂ ਰਿਆਜ਼ ਦੇ ਸਾਧਨ, ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੇ ਰਿਆਜ਼, ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੀ ਮਿਊਜ਼ਿਕ ਥੈਰੇਪੀ। ਕੁਝ ਰਾਗ ਸੁਣਾਏ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਮਿਊਜ਼ਿਕ ਥੈਰੇਪੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਇਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਮਿਊਜ਼ਿਕ ਥੈਰੇਪੀ ਵੀ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਤਾਨਪੁਰਾ ਲਗਾ ਕੇ ਕੁਝ ਦੇਰ ਹਮਿੰਗ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, ਸਾਹ ਲਗਾਉਣ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਕੁਝ 5-10 ਮਿੰਟ ਬਾਅਦ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਕਰੋਗੇ ਦਿਲ ਦਿਮਾਗ ਥੋੜਾ ਬੋਝ ਨੂੰ ਘੱਟ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਸਟ੍ਰੈਸ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਰਿਲੀਜ਼ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਸਾਡੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਹੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਰਾਗ ਝੋਲੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਾਇਆ। ਰਾਗ ਕੀਰਤਨ, ਗੁਰੂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਕੀਰਤਨ, ਇਹ ਵਡਮੁੱਲੀ ਦਾਤ ਹੈ। ਵਾਰ-ਵਾਰ ਗੱਲ ਫਿਰ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਘੁੰਮ ਕੇ ਰਾਗ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਤੇ ਹੀ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਰਾਗ ਦਾ ਹਿਊਮਨ ਬੀਇੰਗ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗਹਿਰਾ ਸੰਬੰਧ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇਹ ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ, ਜਿੰਨਾ ਕੁ ਮੈਂ ਜਾਣਦਾ ਹਾਂ। ਬਾਕੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੰਟਰਨੈਟ ਤੇ ਵੀ ਸਰਚ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਮਿਊਜ਼ਿਕ ਥੈਰੇਪੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਇਲਾਜ ਕੀਤੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ। ਆਓ ਅਗਲਾ ਸ਼ਬਦ। मैं दिले की टेक तेरा नाम खुंदकारा मैं दिले की टेक तेरा नाम खुंदकारा मैं दिले की टेक तेरा नाम खुंदकारा मैं गरीब मैं मस्कीन तेरा नाम है अतारा मैं गरीब मैं मस्कीन तेरा नाम है अतारा मैं दिले की टेक तेरा नाम खुंदकारा मैं दिले की टेक तेरा नाम खुंदकारा करीमा रहीमा अल्लाह तू गने करीमा रहीमा अल्लाह तू गने हाजरा हजूर दरपेश तू मने हाजरा हजूर दरपेश तू मने दरपेश तू मने दरपेश तू मने मैं दिले की टेक तेरा नाम खुंदकारा मैं दिले की टेक तेरा नाम खुंदकारा मैं गरीब मैं मस्कीन तेरा नाम है अतारा मैं गरीब मैं मस्कीन तेरा नाम है अतारा दरिया तू दहिंद तू बिसरार तू धनी दरिया तू दहिंद तू बिसरार तू धनी बेले एक तू दिगर को नहीं बेले एक तू दिगर को
की टेक तेरा नाम खुंदकारा मैं अंधेरे की टेक तेरा नाम खुंदकारा मैं गरीब मैं मस्कीन तेरा नाम है अदारा मैं गरीब मैं मस्कीन तेरा नाम है अदारा तू दाना तू बीना मैं विचार क्या करी तू दाना तू बीना मैं विचार क्या करी मैं विचार क्या करी तू दाना तू बीना मैं विचार क्या करी तू दाना तू बीना मैं विचार क्या करी नाम चे स्वामी बख्शन तू हरी नामे चे स्वाम बख्शंद तुम्हारी बख्शंद तुम्हारी नामे चे स्वामी बख्शंद तू हरी नाम चे स्वामी बख्शंद तू हरी बख्शंद तू हरी बख्शंद तू हरी मैं अंधेरे की टेक तेरा नाम खुंदकारा मैं अंधेरे की टेक तेरा नाम खुंदकारा मैं गरीब मैं मस्कीन तेरा नाम है अदारा मैं गरीब मैं मस्कीन तेरा नाम है अदारा मैं अंधेरे की टेक तेरा नाम खुंदकारा मैं अंधेरे की टेक तेरा नाम खुंदकारा मैं गरीब मैं मस्कीन तेरा नाम है अदारा मैं गरीब मैं मस्कीन तेरा नाम है अदारा मैं अंधेरे की टेक तेरा नाम खुंदकारा मैं अंधेरे की टेक
वाहे ए दोए नैना मत छूओ, ए दोए नैना मत छूओ, पीर देखन की आस, ए दो नैना मत छूओ, 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 फिर देखन की आस, ए दो नैना मत छूओ, 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 फिर देखन की आस, ए दो नैना मत छूओ, ए दो नैना मत छूओ, ए दो नैना मत छूओ, ए दो नैना मत छूओ। कागा करंग ढंडोलिया सगला खाया मास, कागा करंग ढंडोलिया कागा करंग ढंडोलिया सगला खाया मास, ए दो नैना मत छूओ, ए दो नैना मत छूओ, फिर देखन की आस, ए दो नैना मत छूओ, 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 फिर देखन की आस, ए दो नैना मत छूओ, ए दो नैना मत छूओ, ए दो नैना मत छूओ, ए दो नैना मत छूओ। फरीद तन सुका पिंजर थिया, फरीद तन सुका पिंजर थिया, तलियां खूंडे काग, फरीद तन सुका पिंजर थिया, फरीद तन सुका पिंजर थिया, कलियां घूंढे का
देखन की आस ए दुन न मत छूओ 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 फरीदा तन सुखा पिंजर थिया फरीदा तन सुखा पिंजर थिया तलियां बूढ़े काग अज सुरभ ना बहुड़ियो अज सुरभ ना बहुड़ियो देख बंदे के भाग देख बंदे के भाग ए तो नैना मत छूओ ए तो नैना मत छूओ फिर देखन की आस ए दुन न मत छूओ 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 ए तो नैना मत छूओ ए तो नैना मत छूओ फिर देखन की आस ए दुन न मत छूओ 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 ए तो नैना मत छूओ फिर देखन की आस राम कली मला दिजानंद कुंगार सतगुर प्रसाद राग रतन परवार बनिया राग रतन परवार बनिया शब्द गावन आया शब्द गावन आया राग रतन परवार बनिया राग रतन परवार बनिया सारे धरे धरे धगरे गरे रे सारे 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 नि सा धा नि नि धा नि धा ध प ध म प ध नि 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 धा नि धा नि नि धा नि ध प म प ग म रे ग रे सा राग रतन परवार बनिया राग रतन परवार बनिया आनंद पया मेरी माए सतगुरु मैं पाया सतगुर ता पाया सहज सिद्धि मन वजिया वदाया राग रतन परवार बनिया शब्द गावण आया शब्दों ता गावो हरि केरा मन जिने वसाया कह नानक मन दोआ सतगुरु मैं पाया ए मन मेरा तू सदा रो हर नाल हो तू मन मेरे दुख सब विसारना अंगीकारो कर तेरा कार्य सब सवारना सबना करा समरथ स्वामी सुख मनो विसारे कह नानक मन मेरे सदा रो हर नाल साचे साहिबा ज्ञान नहीं करते करता तेरे सब कुछ है जिसदे सुपाए सदा सिफत सलाह तेरी नाम मन वसार नाम जिनके मन वसिया वादे शब्द कनेरे कह नानक सच्चे साहिब क्या नहीं करते सच्चा नाम मेरा साच नाम आधार मेरा जिन भूखा सब गवाई कर शांत सुख मन आए वसिया जिन इच्छा सब बुझाया सदा गुरबान पिता गुर बिठो जिस दिया वड्याया कह नानक सुनो संतो शब्द तरो प्यारो साचा नाम मेरा आधारो वाजे पंच शब्द तित कर सुभागे शब्द वाजे कला जित कर तारिया पंच दूत तुद वासे कीते काल कट कमारे गुर करम पाया तुद जिनको से नाम हर के लागे कह नानक तैस को आदत कर अनहद बाजे अनंत सुनो बड़ भागियो सगल मनोरथ पूरे पार नाम प्रभ पाया उतरे सगल विसूरे दुख रोग संताप उतरे सुनी सच्ची बानी संत साधन पए सर से पूरे गुर ते जान सुनते पुनीत कहते भगत सतगुर रहया पर पूरे विद्वांत नानक गुर चरण लागे बाजे अनहद तूर सलो पवन गुरु पानी पिता माता तक मात दिन सरात दुई दाए दाया खेले सगल जगत चंगियाइयां बुरियाइयां बाजे धर्म हजूर कर में आपो अपने के नेड़े के दूर जिन्ने नाम ते आया गए मशक्कत काल नानक ते मुख दिले केती छुटी नाल ਸੋ ਇਤਨੀ ਕੁ ਸੇਵਾ ਪ੍ਰਵਾਨ ਕਰਨਾ ਜੀ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਬਾਣੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਈ ਪ੍ਰਕਾਰ ਦੀਆਂ ਭੁੱਲਾਂ ਚੁੱਕਾਂ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀਆਂ ਹਨ ਆਪ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਬਖਸ਼ਣਯੋਗ ਹੋ ਕੋਟਾਨ ਕੋਟ ਸ਼ੁਕਰਾਨਾ ਹੈ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਆਪ ਲਈ ਵੀਰ ਜੀ ਗੁਰਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਆਨੰਦ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਹੈ ਜਦੋਂ ਯੂਕੇ ਟੂਰ ਤੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਬੜੇ ਚਾਅ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇੱਥੇ ਬੁਲਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਹੈ ਵੀਰ ਗੁਰਰਾਜਨ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਅਨਾਹਦ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਸੁਸਾਇਟੀ ਜੋ ਜਥਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਸਾਡਾ ਜੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਹੈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਹੈ ਸੋ ਬੁਲਾਓ ਫਤਿਹ ਜੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।